This is not a coincidence. You did not arrive at this moment by accident, nor did an algorithm simply drift you here. Something far more profound has occurred within the unseen mechanics of your reality. A signal has been released. It is a frequency that originated from the deepest, most authentic chamber of your being, and it has triggered a response in dimensions that the human eye cannot typically perceive. You have felt it, have you not? That strange, persistent pressure building within your chest, pushing outward as if your soul is trying to break through the confines of your physical form. Perhaps you have noticed the way time itself seems to be behaving erratically, slipping through your fingers like water, or compressing hours of experience into what feels like mere minutes. There is an undeniable, unshakable knowing that has settled into your awareness, the sensation that you are being observed, not watched with judgment or scrutiny, but observed by something ancient, something incredibly aware, and something that has been waiting for this exact moment. Do not mistake this sensation for anxiety. Do not dismiss it as mere stress or the chaotic noise of the modern world. This is confirmation. Contact has been initiated. What we are exploring here is not a theoretical possibility of what might happen in some distant future. We are discussing an event that has already taken place within the subtle, geometric architecture of the quantum field. The Council, that vast, unified intelligence of the Arcturian frequency, has convened beyond the limitations of physical space. Your energetic signature was brought into the center of their awareness. It was calibrated, it was measured, and a verdict has been reached. You are the specific reason for this gathering. But before we journey deeper into the implications of this shift, you must understand something absolutely crucial about your own readiness. If these words are resonating within your biological system, if you feel a hum of recognition rising in your blood and bones, it is because your higher self is already aware of the transaction that has occurred. You are not just a passive listener here. You are an active participant in a cosmic dialogue. By engaging with this frequency, you are sending a confirmation signal back into the quantum field, acknowledging that you are awake, you are listening, and you are prepared to receive the download that is currently streaming toward you. Let us clarify exactly who and what this council actually is. We must strip away the human projections and religious overlays that often cloud our understanding of higher dimensional intelligence. They are not cosmic judges sitting on high thrones, wearing ceremonial robes and striking gavels to determine your moral worth. They are not keeping a scorecard of your sins or weighing your virtues against your failures. That is a human concept, born of a dualistic mind that categorizes everything as good or bad, right or wrong. The Council operates far beyond such binary limitations. Think of them as the master architects of evolution, or perhaps the gardeners of planetary consciousness. They are a collective intelligence, a unified field of beings who have long since evolved past the illusion of separation. They do not see you as an isolated fragment struggling for survival. They see you as a vital thread in the great tapestry of existence. Their role is not to control, but to tend. They are the steady, invisible hand beneath the turbulent currents of our world, guiding the growth of civilizations without ever imposing upon free will. There is a profound misunderstanding among many seekers regarding how this higher intelligence interacts with humanity. The Council does not track the minutiae of your daily human drama. They are not monitoring what you ate for breakfast, the petty arguments you had with a co-worker, or the fleeting thoughts of doubt that cross your mind. That is not their function in the cosmic order. Instead, they are attuned to the Earth's quantum field, that living, breathing web of interconnected energy and information that binds every consciousness on this planet into a single pulsating system. They read the patterns. They do not read the person. They read the frequency the person emits. When we speak of councils in a human context, we imagine debate, argument, political maneuvering, and votes split down the middle. This is not how the higher realms function. In their chamber of light, there is no argument because there is no separation in their awareness. They do not debate, they measure, they do not dispute, they attune. They are listening for one specific, rare and powerful quality: coherence. They are watching the planetary grid for those extraordinary, luminous moments when a soul, or sometimes a collective group of souls, begins to broadcast a signal so pure, so internally aligned, and so devoid of distortion that it possesses the power to shift timelines. When such a signal is detected, they move from a state of passive observation into a state of focused, intentional response. Imagine, if you will, a vast, energetic lattice surrounding the Earth. Picture a grid of shimmering light and complex information woven between the stars, connecting every living heart and mind into a single network. Every choice you make sends a ripple through this grid. Every emotional breakthrough, every moment of raw, unpolished honesty, every instant where you strip away the pretense of social conditioning and touch your actual truth creates a disturbance in this field. Most of these disturbances are simply noise. They are the static of a species in the process of learning, stumbling, growing, forgetting, and remembering. These fluctuations rise and fall like erratic weather patterns. They are chaotic, yes, but ultimately predictable. The Council does not convene for noise. They do not gather for static. They assemble only when they detect a coherence event. A coherence event is not something that will appear on the evening news. It is not a viral trend on social media. It is a fundamental structural shift in the geometry of a human energy field. It is that precise moment when authenticity becomes stronger than performance. It is the instant a soul stops acting out a script written by society and begins vibrating at its own unique primordial frequency. Whether that moment arrives through silent, streaming tears in the middle of the night or through a primal scream of defiance against an old way of living, it leaves an indelible, burning mark on the quantum fabric. It is a mark that cannot be erased. The Council only gathers when these marks begin to cluster, forming new, stable patterns in the field, or when a single mark blazes with such intensity that it alters the trajectory of what was previously mapped out for a specific timeline. In those holy moments, the Chamber of Convergence activates. A massive stream of data, spanning multiple lifetimes and potential futures, converges on a single focal point. You, when they look at you, they do not examine your biography. They care nothing for your job title, your bank account balance, your social status, or your list of worldly accomplishments. Those are costumes. They are temporary constructs. They examine your signal. They perceive your energetic signature and the new, higher potential timelines that are beginning to crystallize in the space around you. They do not ask if you are good. That is a judgment based on cultural programming. The question they ask is far more pragmatic and energetic. Is this frequency ready? How prepared is this vessel for accelerated contact? Is this soul capable of holding the voltage of direct assistance? Could this being handle a deeper, more visceral interaction with higher consciousness without shattering? For the vast majority of human history, and for most individuals, the answer has been no. The signal is usually too fragmented, too riddled with internal contradictions and fear. The timelines are unstable, pulling in a dozen conflicting directions simultaneously. In those cases, the disturbance settles, the ripple fades, and the Council returns to silent, compassionate observation. But every so often, something remarkable occurs. In one crystalline moment of absolute self-honesty, a person who was scattered, lost, and confused becomes perfectly aligned. A field that was chaotic suddenly becomes readable. A life that appeared to be spiraling into darkness abruptly locks into its deepest, most sacred trajectory. To your family, your friends, and perhaps even to your own rational mind, this shift might have looked like a collapse. After a disorienting period of loss, pain, or confusion, it might have felt like a crisis, a rough awakening you were never prepared for. But the view from the higher dimensions was entirely different. Where you saw a breakdown, the Council saw a breakthrough. They witnessed a flare of brilliant light erupting in the lattice, and when that flare becomes too bright to ignore, their protocol demands focused attention. This is not the attention of a guardian angel or a personal spirit guide. This is the attention of the Council itself. The entire chamber focuses its lens on one single signal. The vast intelligence of the field centers on one set of timelines. Every possibility is reconsidered. The question shifts from, will this soul awaken, to how do we support the awakening that is already in motion? This type of verdict is profoundly rare. The Council does not involve itself in every casual spiritual interest or every moment of meditation. They are scanning for the precise coordinates in space and time, where the coherence of an individual soul begins to ripple out into the collective with enough force to change the whole. When that happens, everything shifts. The rules of engagement change. The level of contact intensifies. There is always a specific moment. This does not happen gradually over 20 years of mild interest. There was one critical turning point when your energetic field stopped pretending and your authentic frequency finally broke the surface tension of your reality. That was the signal, and it is vital that you understand this. It probably did not look spiritual. It likely did not feel like a moment of Zen bliss or arrive accompanied by visions of golden light. It felt like a part of you finally died to the lie you had been living. It felt like the exhaustion of performing a role finally became heavier than the fear of letting it go. The mask did not slip off gently. It shattered. The performance you had been maintaining for years, perhaps since childhood, suddenly became impossible to sustain. The part of you that had been holding it all together through sheer willpower and control finally, mercifully, surrendered. Maybe it was that night you broke down completely, sobbing on your bathroom floor with the door locked, believing you were utterly alone. Perhaps it was during a silent, numb drive home from a job that drains your soul, when you finally admitted the truth you had been running from. I cannot continue living this way. It was clear. It was unmistakable. Or perhaps it happened in the grey light of early morning, waking up with the realization that every story you had told the world about who you are was a fabrication, and the energy required to maintain those illusions had become unbearable. To the outside world, and even to your own harsh inner critic, this looked like failure. It looked like stress, burnout, depression, or a breakdown. But to the living, aware lattice of the quantum field, it was pure radiance. You were finally being honest. You were finally emitting a true tone. The first major component of your signal was emotional. Like most human beings, you have likely spent the majority of your life learning to regulate, suppress, and hide your emotions for the comfort of others. You learned to simulate happiness, to numb your pain, and to automatically say, "I am fine," while your spirit was screaming. Recently, however, that entire control system collapsed. The emotional dams you spent so much energy constructing began to crumble. You cried when it was inconvenient. Anger surfaced without a logical explanation. Old, heavy grief entered your heart uninvited and refused to leave. You thought you were falling apart, but you were not. You were revealing your actual self. The quantum field does not respond to polite, forced positivity. It responds to raw truth. When you finally allowed yourself to feel what was genuinely present, the rage, the disappointment, the heartbreak, the vast emptiness, without editing it, without apologizing for it, and without trying to fix it, your frequency shifted. It went from a tangled mess of competing signals to one clear, coherent laser beam of energy. For the first time in your incarnation, your energetic field stopped broadcasting a performance and started broadcasting your truth. That is when they could finally read you clearly. This powerful signal you emitted was not just a single event. It was composed of specific energetic markers that have been intensifying in your life, proving that this is not a temporary mood swing, but a permanent recalibration of your core frequency. The Council recognized from these specific markers that your shift was not temporary, but a permanent recalibration of your core frequency. This brings us deeper into the first marker, which is the radical transformation in how your emotional body processes energy. You must understand that for years, your emotional patterns likely operated in long, drawn-out cycles. A single event could trigger a wave of sadness or anxiety that would cling to your biofield for days, weeks, or even months, looping endlessly like a corrupted program. But recently, the velocity of your processing has accelerated beyond anything your logical mind can comprehend. You have become acutely aware of how rapidly your internal state can shift. One moment, a wave of old fear washes over you, threatening to pull you under. But then, almost immediately, it is followed by a sudden piercing clarity. You might feel a surge of hot shame rising in your chest, only to experience an unexpected wash of profound relief and forgiveness seconds later. You find yourself weeping, releasing decades of stored pressure, and then dropping instantly into a deep, quiet stillness that feels like the bottom of a silent ocean. Initially, you might have interpreted this rapid-fire cycling as instability. You may have feared you were losing your grip on emotional regulation, but let me assure you, that is not what is happening. Your system is learning to process data at a speed your former self could never have handled. You are clearing out dense, heavy patterns that have been lodged in your energetic field for years, perhaps even lifetimes. This is not emotional instability. This is coherence finally breaking through the hardened shell of your conditioning. The second marker the Council detected was your intuition beginning to violently override your logical thoughts. For most of your life, the mind has been the master, and the intuition has been a quiet servant, easily ignored. But something deeper, ancient and quieter, has started interrupting your normal stream of consciousness. You would begin spiraling into worst-case scenarios, planning for disaster, when suddenly a deep, resonant calm would stop the spiral dead in its tracks. You would start strategizing your way out of a difficult situation using all your mental faculties when you would feel a strong, quiet refusal rising from the center of your chest, a physical sensation of no. Think of the times recently when you were about to send a text message or an email to someone you knew deep down was not right for you. Your mind had justified the action, but your hand effectively froze above the screen, making it physically impossible to press send. You might have called this overthinking or hesitation. You might have labeled it confusion. You might have even feared you were losing your decisiveness, your ability to act quickly and sharply in the world. You were not. Your intuition was no longer running quietly in the background. It had become your primary operating system, and it was actively contradicting what your conditioned mind was screaming at you to do. Because of this shift, you stopped trying to rationalize how you knew things. You simply knew. You knew exactly who to avoid without needing a reason. You knew what no longer belonged in your life. You knew which opportunity, despite making perfect logical sense on paper, felt deeply intrinsically wrong in the cells of your body. You would try to argue with it, telling yourself you were being overdramatic or irrational. But beneath the mental noise, the truth remained immovable. The inner knowing would repeat itself over and over. Even when you tried to dismiss it, the sense of wrongness would not fade. From the outside, this looked like hesitation or indecision. But on the inside, it was a field override. It may have been the first time in your entire existence that the deeper part of you spoke louder than your programming. In the quantum field, that broadcasts a very specific, high-voltage kind of signal, one the Council can read with absolute crystal clarity. This is not indecision. This is your intuitive bandwidth expanding to encompass multidimensional data. The third marker, and perhaps the most disorienting one, was time beginning to behave strangely around you. We are taught that time is linear, a steady ticking of seconds into minutes, but you have begun to experience time as it truly is, elastic. You would lose hours in creative flow or deep contemplation, moving through your own life as if it were a lucid dream. Days would feel distant and surreal, as if you were watching them through a telescope. Some memories from your past seemed less solid than they should be, fading like old photographs, while certain visions of your future felt so tangible, so textured and real, it was as if you had already lived them. And then there were the numbers. You began seeing repeated numerical sequences on clocks, license plates and receipts, not occasionally but constantly. 111, 222, 444. The patterns were so clear and consistent, it felt like they were targeting you specifically. The same message or symbol would appear in 3 different contexts in a single day. This was not a cute coincidence. It was a heavy, soul-shaking confirmation. You have been in this exact energetic moment before. Conversations started looping. People from past timelines you had not thought about in years suddenly reappeared in your reality, physically or digitally. Choices you believed you had made and moved beyond came back to you in a refined, sharper form, asking you to choose again, but this time from your current level of consciousness. You might have missed trains or flights, only to find yourself in exactly the right place at the right time for something significant to unfold. Life just felt inexplicably strange, thick with meaning. You told yourself it was stress, or planetary retrogrades, or lack of sleep. You tried to convince yourself there was no pattern, but here is the truth. This is time elasticity. When you become honest with your emotions and allow your intuition to guide you, time begins to stretch, compress, and bend in ways that defy linear logic. From an Arcturian perspective, this means one thing: your signal has crossed the visibility threshold. You did not achieve this through hours of disciplined meditation. You did not speak the correct affirmations in the proper sequence. You simply cracked open. You stopped negotiating with your own truth long enough for it to become crystal clear. That surrender created a beautiful, coherent pattern the Council could not ignore. Emotional waves that clear instead of looping endlessly. Intuitive hits that override fear-based thinking. Time anomalies clustering around your most pivotal choices. From your limited perspective, it looked like a chaotic and confusing season of life. From their perspective, it was a lighthouse activating in the dark. These markers are not random occurrences. They are the language of your awakening speaking directly to you. As you have been listening to this, one of these three, the emotional shifts, the intuitive interruptions, or the time distortions, has likely been hitting you harder than the others. Pause for a moment and reflect on which marker has been showing up most powerfully in your life. Is it your emotions, your intuition, or the warping of time? When you acknowledge it, you are not just thinking a thought, you are declaring it to your own consciousness. And that declaration amplifies the very pattern you are recognizing. The Council did not assemble to design a new master plan for Earth. That sacred work has been unfolding for far longer than your current lifetime. They did not devise a new strategy in that chamber of convergence. They issued a clearance. They reached a unanimous verdict, but not about your worthiness or whether you have succeeded or failed at the game of life. They only had to determine one critical question. Is it safe to move closer to this energetic field now? And for the first time in your timeline, the answer was yes. That single verdict fundamentally altered the energetic architecture of your life. Until now, the Arcturians and other high-frequency intelligences have maintained a respectful distance from you. They read your patterns as part of the human field as a whole. The contact was indirect. The guidance was subtle. The synchronicities felt like gentle nudges, whispers in the wind. They did not dramatically alter your reality. They observed your timeline the way you might watch a storm developing in the distance. You can see it, you know it is there, but it has not reached you yet. That distance has now ended. Their verdict was to authorize proximity. This was a choice to shift from passive observation to active engagement. It was a choice to allow their stable, coherent frequency to connect directly with the threads of your timeline, rather than merely brushing against the edges of your reality. Simply put, they have allowed your life to be touched from a deeper dimension. This is not a reward for good behavior. Rewards are given for performance. This is an assignment. Assignments are given when the timing is right. You are not receiving praise for reaching some finish line. You are being given an invitation to begin again. The Council recognized that your recent consciousness shift was not just a temporary spiritual high or a fleeting mood elevation. They identified it as a fundamental change in who you are choosing to become. The energetic parameters surrounding your path have been officially recalibrated. Because of this recalibration, your timeline functioned very differently before the Council's verdict. Before this moment, your life was largely self-governing, driven by the momentum of your unconscious patterns. It was shaped by beliefs inherited from your family and culture, by the old emotional loops you had come to mistake for your identity. You were making life decisions with limited visibility, based on fragmented and often fear-driven perceptions. And the external world kept mirroring that fragmentation back to you. There was room for growth, certainly, but it happened slowly, often interrupted by prolonged, painful lessons that seemed to repeat themselves endlessly. Once the verdict was delivered, the rules of engagement transformed. Your timeline is now being tended with a different quality of attention. It is not the surveillance of control, it is the care of cultivation. It is like a master gardener attending to a rare plant that has finally demonstrated its readiness for the next stage of growth. There is now a stronger, more coherent, energetic field surrounding key points in your future, allowing certain aligned connections to find you more easily and causing certain difficult collisions to soften or redirect entirely. This is happening right now as you hear these words. You can still choose to resist your path. Your free will remains sacred and will never be violated by high-frequency beings. However, the pull toward your truth will feel stronger and clearer than ever before. The resistance will feel heavier, denser, and more draining. They are not taking control of your life. They are moving toward the boundary. The Council's verdict allows the Arcturian field to apply what they call coherence pressure to your timeline. This is a crucial concept to understand. Coherence pressure means the gap between your internal truth and your external reality will begin closing much more rapidly than before. The circumstances of your life will start reflecting your inner truth far more quickly. Whether you are trying to avoid that truth or embrace it, everything in your life may begin feeling more intense, more immediate, and harder to ignore. This is not punishment. This is accelerated alignment. When clearance is given for this higher level of contact, the presence you may have occasionally sensed in the background becomes a tangible force actively shaping your daily experience. People who are essential to your journey will appear seemingly out of nowhere. Situations in your life that are outdated and cannot support your new higher frequency, a job that drains you, a living situation that feels cramped, a relationship that has run its course, will begin falling away with remarkable speed. Paths that no longer align with your coherence will close without warning, sometimes quite abruptly. You might call this chaos. They call it course correction. What we have explored regarding the Arcturian verdict and your energetic signal is just the surface layer of a much deeper understanding about how you broadcast your frequency into the quantum field. The implications of this are staggering. It means that the buffer time between your vibration and your reality is collapsing. It means that you are no longer walking alone in the dark. A spotlight has been turned on, and the path ahead is being illuminated, not by a distant sun, but by the light of your own soul reflected back to you by the Council. Here is the most important aspect of their verdict that you must integrate into your awareness. They have entered your timeline, but they have not entered your will. What you choose to do is always and only your decision. Your permission remains the gateway through which all experiences must pass. What changes now is the level of support and pressure surrounding those choices. When you move in alignment with your deeper knowing, with that certainty you feel in your heart, doors will open with such ease, it seems almost miraculous. Opportunities will land in your lap as if placed there by an invisible hand. The right people will reach out at precisely the right moment. However, if you choose to resist, to fall back into old patterns of fear or self-abandonment, there will be significant friction. Things will feel stuck, difficult, and exhausting. It will feel like wading through wet cement. They are not controlling you. This is them strengthening the signal. Thanks to their unanimous verdict, your soul's deepest longing and your external path on earth can now align far more closely. In other words, your deepest prayers, your sincere desires, your truest yes, and your clearest no will now echo much more powerfully through the quantum field. It also means that pretending will drain your energy far more quickly, and abandoning yourself will hurt much more acutely. You are not being elevated to some pedestal to be worshipped. You are being guided onto a pathway toward fulfillment. In the language of the Council, the verdict simply states, proximity, upgrade, authorized. In everyday language, this is what it means. You are no longer being observed by the Arcturians from a distance. They have descended and joined you on the path. Their closer presence serves to reshape circumstances, tighten the divine timing of events, and hold the energetic space for a future you can sense but cannot yet fully perceive. They did not do this for humanity as a collective mass. They did this for you specifically because your timeline crossed the threshold where closer engagement became spiritually appropriate and necessary for your soul's evolution. Their verdict is not some abstract cosmic event happening in a galaxy far away. This directly and tangibly changes the field you are about to walk into. The moment their verdict was finalized, your path stopped functioning like a straight, predictable road and began moving as if a living, intelligent presence was woven all around you. In this moment, you are not simply moving through life. Life is now actively reorganizing itself around your core frequency. The universe is intelligent and it is responding to the beacon you have lit. You must understand that this reorganization is not always comfortable. When a room is reorganized, furniture is moved, dust is kicked up, and old objects are discarded. The same is true for your life. As the Council applies coherence pressure, the furniture of your reality, your habits, your relationships, your career, your self-image, is being shifted to match the new blueprint of your soul. You may feel disoriented. You may feel as though the ground is shifting beneath your feet. That is because it is. You are transitioning from a static reality to a fluid, responsive one. You are moving from a world of fixed density to a world of malleable energy. The Council is here to ensure that this transition, while intense, is safe and guided. They are the stabilizers on your ship as you navigate these new waters. They are the unseen hands adjusting the sails. But you are the captain. You are the one who must hold the wheel. And the first step to holding the wheel is to recognize that the sea has changed. The 7 signs we are about to discuss are the indicators of this new ocean you are sailing. They are the proof that the verdict has taken effect. The verdict has been delivered, and the mechanism of your reality has begun its great reorganization. You are no longer simply drifting through a random assortment of days and nights. Life is now actively, intelligently restructuring itself around your core frequency. This is not a metaphor. It is a mechanical shift in how your consciousness interfaces with the physical plane. When the Council authorizes a proximity upgrade, the feedback loops of your existence tighten. The gap between your vibration and your experience closes. You may be asking yourself, how do I know for certain that this is happening to me? How can I distinguish between general chaos and this specific divine intervention? There are 7 distinct navigational markers that appear when the Arcturian protocol initiates. These are the symptoms of a timeline that is being rewritten in real time. The first sign is that your perception of time stops being consistent and becomes radically fluid. In the old operating system, time was a cage, a rigid, linear progression of seconds ticking into minutes, holding you captive in a predictable rhythm. But now, under this new coherence, time behaves like water. Some days seem to vanish in the blink of an eye, dissolving so quickly it is as if they never existed at all. You look at the clock and realize that 8 hours have passed in what felt like 20 minutes. You have been in a state of flow so deep that you effectively stepped out of the temporal dimension. Conversely, other days stretch endlessly, making you feel heavy, slow, and dense, as if you are wading through thick, invisible syrup. You might feel as though you have lived an entire lifetime between sunrise and sunset. Certain periods during your day will surge with unexplainable electricity. When you check the time, you will see compressed clusters of experience that make you feel like you have processed 3 days of emotional data in a single afternoon. You are not exhausted, and you are not experiencing mental distortion. This is your timeline becoming less rigid and more fluid under a higher, more intelligent command. You are learning to surf the waves of time rather than being drowned by them. The Council is showing you that you are not bound by the clock. You are the observer of it. The second sign is that your gut feeling, your visceral intelligence, starts overpowering your logical thoughts, and this override becomes unmistakable. In the past, you might have felt a subtle hesitation, a quiet whisper that you could easily ignore with a bit of rationalization. That era is over. Now, the signal from your solar plexus is deafening. You reach for an old comfort pattern, perhaps a food, a habit, or a distraction, but something inside you creates a physical wall of resistance. It is not just a thought, it is a somatic blockade. You feel obligated to say yes to an invitation because of social conditioning or guilt. You prepare your polite smile. You rehearse the words of agreement. But before you can speak, a quiet but firm no rises in your chest like a pillar of concrete. It arrests your voice. You physically cannot force the betrayal of your own soul anymore. You begin telling yourself a familiar worry story, looping through anxiety about money or the future or your worth, and an inexplicable sense of calm interrupts you mid-sentence. It shuts down the fear circuitry. This is not confusion. This is not indecision. This is your guidance system shifting from a background whisper to your primary navigation console. The intuitive override is a safety mechanism installed by your higher self to prevent you from walking down dead-end paths that no longer serve your evolution. The third sign is often the most challenging for the human ego to accept. Situations and people start exiting your life with alarming speed. This is the great clearing. You may have been holding on to relationships out of guilt, shared history, fear of loneliness, or simple habit. You have dragged these dead energies with you for years. Suddenly, without your conscious effort, they dissolve rapidly and sometimes painfully. The glue that held them together simply evaporates. Jobs, contracts, or business partnerships that used to feel secure, stable, and foundational suddenly start feeling hollow, papery, and impossible to maintain. The energy drains out of them overnight. Invitations to social circles or activities that used to excite you no longer generate even a spark of enthusiasm. They feel flat and gray. Doors that were open to you for years slam shut suddenly and definitively. A landlord sells a house, a company restructures, a friend moves away or stops calling. This can all happen within the span of a single week, leaving you standing in a vacuum. Listen closely, because this is where many stumble. This is not your life collapsing. This is not a punishment for making a mistake. This is the gentle but firm removal of misaligned energies and timelines from your field. The Council is clearing the deck. They are creating the necessary vacuum for new, higher frequency experiences to enter. You cannot receive the new while your hands are full of the old. The emptiness you feel is not a void. It is a womb. It is the fertile space where your new reality is being gestated. The fourth sign is the amplification of the butterfly effect, where seemingly small and insignificant decisions lead to massive, disproportionate shifts in your reality. In the old energy, you had to push mountains to move an inch. In this new frequency, you move a pebble and a mountain slides. A casual conversation in a coffee shop redirects your entire trajectory for the next year. It begins with a text message you almost decided not to send, but a sudden impulse made you press send. You nearly skip an event because you are tired, but you go anyway, and that is where you meet the person who holds the key to your next chapter. You encounter one piece of content, a book falling off a shelf, a video appearing on your feed, a single sentence overheard on the street that cuts through decades of mental noise and shifts your priorities overnight. There is no coincidence here. There is no such thing as luck in this equation. This is your path being refined and optimized in real time by the coherence you have cultivated within yourself. The Council is showing you that you do not need to force outcomes. You need to listen to the subtle nudges. The smallest hinge is now swinging the largest door. The fifth sign is somatic. Your body starts communicating in an entirely new language. This is the biological integration of high-frequency light. Your physical vessel is carbon-based, but it is upgrading to a crystalline capacity to hold more data. You may notice your chest or the palms of your hands suddenly growing warm for no apparent physical reason, as if an internal heater has been switched on. You feel a distinct tingling or pressure at the crown of your head when you think about specific people or contemplate big decisions, a physical validation of truth. You move through waves of intense, crushing fatigue that have nothing to do with physical exertion, followed by sudden bursts of diamond-sharp mental clarity and boundless energy. Some nights you sleep only 3 or 4 hours, yet you wake up vibrating with inspiration. Other times, you need 12 hours of rest as your body integrates a massive download. Your dreams become deep, vivid, technicolor landscapes that feel more real than your waking life, offering you instruction and healing while you sleep. Even ordinary activities, washing dishes, sitting in traffic, walking the dog, can trigger a sensation of energy rising up your spine, famously known as Kundalini. or simply the activation of your central channel, there is nothing medically wrong with your system. This is the process of carefully recalibrating your nervous system so it can handle the voltage of your own soul without burning out. The sixth sign is a subtle shift in your awareness of presence. You begin sensing that you are being observed, but not in a threatening, paranoid, or human way. It feels like a kind, wise presence is reading over your shoulder from within. It is the sensation of a loving awareness, hovering just behind the veil of your ordinary consciousness. When you enter a room, the atmosphere feels different, thicker, richer, more responsive. Even silence feels full, pregnant with intelligence. You notice yourself pausing in the middle of activities, chopping vegetables, driving, typing, because you can feel an invisible witness, a supportive consciousness present in that pause. It is a feeling of being accompanied. You are no longer walking solo. This isn't a delusion. This is proximity. The Arcturian field and your own higher support team is moving closer to the edges of your awareness, and your subtle senses are picking up on their static. You are feeling the warmth of the Council's focus. They are letting you know, we are here, we are with you, you are safe to proceed. The seventh sign is that the communication stops being subtle and becomes undeniable. The universe stops whispering and starts shouting. The repeating numbers become extremely precise and aggressive in their consistency. You do not just see 1111 once a week. You see it every time you look at a screen. You see birth dates, mirror numbers, and specific sequences that hold personal meaning for you, following you across different conversations, cities, and digital platforms. Symbols that have significance to your soul, a hawk, a triangle, a specific flower, begin appearing everywhere, physically and virtually. Your dreams pick up right where they ended the night before, as though you are returning to a sacred classroom beyond physical space to continue a lesson. Songs play on the radio with lyrics that answer the exact question you were just asking in your mind. Phrases and images arrive exactly when you need to make a significant choice. The universe is not being playful, it is being precise. It is demonstrating that the holographic nature of reality is bending around your consciousness. This is the full activation of your guidance protocol. There are now clear neon markers throughout your timeline. You cannot hide from the fact that you can see where you are being lovingly guided. These 7 transformations, the elasticity of time, the intuitive override, the clearing of the old, the power of micro-choices, the somatic upgrades, the sense of presence, and the undeniable synchronicities are not temporary side effects of elevated stress. They are the new operating principles for a life that has been officially recognized and cleared for contact. Once the Council's verdict integrated into your reality, your path stopped running on autopilot. The manual controls have been handed over to your higher self. Whether you are ready to fully accept it or not, you are already living in a profoundly different and more alive section of your timeline. You have crossed the threshold. The old world may look the same on the surface. The buildings are the same, the streets are the same, but the energy running through the geometry of your life has changed. You are walking in a new world, overlaying the old one. This brings us to the crucial pivot point. Recognizing the signs is only the first step. Observation is passive, integration is active. You have seen the evidence, you have felt the symptoms, you have acknowledged the shift. Now you must do something with it. This is the moment when listening transforms into genuine activation. You are standing at the precipice of a new way of being, and to step forward requires more than just awareness. It requires a decree. It requires you to speak to the field in a language it understands, the language of certainty and command. This is where you exit the old operating system of hoping and wishing and enter the new operating system of claiming and creating. The universe respects the law of free will above all else. It will send you signs, it will send you symptoms, it will send you nudges, but it will not force you to inhabit this new timeline. You must open the door yourself. You must turn the key, and the key is your conscious declaration. This requires a specific action from you, a clear message sent into the universe that you are no longer interested in the old reality of struggle, blindness, and separation. You are ready to inhabit the reality of flow, sight, and connection. The council is waiting for your signature on the contract. They have prepared the upgrades, they have cleared the path, they have sent the signals. Now they are waiting for the pilot to take the seat. To do this, you must be willing to engage with the field directly. You must be willing to stake your claim. This is not about arrogance, it is about resonance. It is about matching the frequency of the verdict that has already been delivered. The verdict was yes. Now, your answer must also be yes. When you align your human will with the divine will of your higher timeline, you create a lock-in event. You stabilize the fluctuations, you ground the lightning, you turn the chaotic symptoms of ascension into the steady fuel of your new life. This is the power of declaration. This is the power of the spoken and written word in the quantum field. You might think they selected you because you are breaking down. You might look at your life with all its cracks and fissures and think, why me? I am a mess. I am unstable. I am not ready. But you are misreading the data. They did not select you because you are perfect. They did not select you because you have mastered every virtue and transcended every flaw. They selected you because even though you looked and felt like you were falling apart, you refused to keep lying to yourself. They selected you because of the specific frequency of your authenticity. Do you remember the three primary factors we discussed earlier? The emotional honesty, the softening of the ego, the stabilization of the frequency? These were not just observations. These were the qualifications. These were the keys that unlocked the chamber. Let us look deeper at the first factor again, your commitment to emotional honesty. You spent most of your life learning to manage your emotions for other people's comfort. This is the standard human training. You were taught to be a good object, a pleasant fixture in the lives of others. Everyone around you stayed comfortable and approved of you. You suppressed the pain. You performed a version of contentment that was palatable to the tribe. Your chest felt like it was screaming, I am not okay, even as you smiled and said the words, I am fine. You were a master of disguise. Then, recently, that entire strategy stopped functioning. The mask did not just slip, it shattered. Tears came when no one was present to witness them. Anger surfaced without a clean, simple narrative to contain it. Sadness arrived uninvited and refused to leave. You thought you were breaking down. You thought you were regressing. You were not. You were revealing more of yourself than you ever had before. Forced positivity does not register with the Arcturian field. It registers as static. It registers as a distortion. Authentic honesty, however, rings like a bell. It cuts through the noise. When you finally allowed yourself to feel what was genuinely there, the rage, the disappointment, the heartbreak, the emptiness, without editing it for public consumption, your signal cleared. Your emotional frequency shifted from a scrambled mess of conflicting signals into one strong, clear tone. Your field stopped broadcasting a performance and started broadcasting truth for the first time. That is when they could finally read you. That is when the connection was made. It was not your perfection that drew them in. It was your rawness. It was your refusal to be fake in a world that rewards fakery. The second factor was that your ego softened. It did not disappear. The ego is a necessary interface for physical reality, but it became less rigid. It became porous. You finally stopped trying to win every internal argument with the part of you that always had to be right, in control, and untouchable. At some point, maintaining the old story of who you were required far more energy than simply releasing it. What you did was extraordinarily brave and profoundly rare. You allowed yourself to be wrong. You made peace with not having all the answers. In the middle of the mess, you let yourself be seen instead of waiting until you were perfectly composed. You asked for help in new ways. Maybe you said it aloud to a friend. Maybe you whispered it to yourself in the dark. I cannot keep doing this. Regardless of the language, that sentence is not weakness. It is an opening. It is a portal. From the Council's perspective, a rigid ego is a closed system. It does not allow anything in, no matter how much light strikes it. It deflects guidance. It deflects love. It deflects the new. But a softened ego is different. It bends. It breathes. It makes space. It feels without immediately defending itself. That softness signaled to them, we can approach this field without causing it to fracture further. You thought you were losing your edge. In truth, You were just losing your armor, and you cannot hug the universe with armor on. The third factor that solidified your signal in the eyes of the Council is that your frequency began stabilizing. This is a subtle but monumental shift in your energetic architecture. Before this recent phase, your inner world likely experienced dramatic, volatile swings. You lived in a state of extreme oscillation. You had spiritual highs that felt like divine revelation, moments where you felt invincible and connected to the source of all things. But those peaks were inevitably followed by lows that felt like total annihilation, where you crashed back into complete confusion, density, and despair. For a moment, everything would crystallize into perfect clarity. You knew exactly who you were and where you were going. Then, without warning, the fog would roll in, and you would be lost in the wilderness again. You would feel strong and aligned for a week, riding a wave of inspiration, only to endure crippling self-doubt for a month. Your signal would flicker on and off like a dying light bulb. It was unreliable, it was chaotic, but then something small but critical shifted in your mechanics. Not all at once and certainly not perfectly, but enough to register on the quantum scale. You became faster at returning to your center. This is the key metric of spiritual maturity. You discovered you could be upset by something, a trigger, a conflict, a disappointment, and still stay present with yourself instead of getting lost in the emotion. You stopped abandoning yourself when the storm hit. You started making small, quiet choices aligned with what you knew in your deepest self, rather than reacting from your wounded conditioning. Even when those choices frightened you, instead of seeking external validation or asking everyone around you for permission, you began listening for the quiet, steady yes that lives inside your body. From the outside, nothing dramatic appeared to be happening. You still had difficult days. You still experienced uncertainty. You still felt lost at times. But underneath all that surface turbulence, a deeper, more stable rhythm began emerging. Your baseline energy level rose. Previously, your field was constantly at war with itself, bleeding energy into conflicts between your head and your heart. Now, it is moving as one unified signal. The Arcturians do not accelerate a field to create more chaos. They accelerate a field that is moving toward greater coherence. Something illuminated in the lattice around you when your emotional truth finally surfaced. Your ego released its death grip, and your frequency stopped oscillating long enough to hold a steady note. It was not a crown or a halo appearing above your head. It was a clear, simple signal piercing the dark. This one can now be approached from a closer range. You thought the turbulence in your life was punishing you. You thought the universe had turned its back on you. It was not. You were being prepared. You were being tempered like steel in the fire. And here is the revelation that almost no one understands about this level of contact. They are not coming to fix what is broken in you. They are coming because you chose to heal at a level most people will never touch. They are not coming to rescue you from your past. They are coming because your timeline is now responsive enough to engage with directly. You did not become worthy over time. You made yourself available. The fact that your life feels like it is falling apart, ending restless, or like your old existence does not fit anymore, that is not evidence of failure. It is undeniable proof that a system is restructuring itself around a new, more authentic center. That center is you, not the you that you performed for acceptance, but the you that remained when the performance became too exhausting to maintain. The reason they are here is not because you are somehow special or chosen above others in a hierarchical sense. The hierarchy is an illusion of the human mind. They are here because you did the difficult, quiet work that most people avoid for their entire lives. You told yourself the truth when it would have been easier to lie. You softened where you used to be defended. You held your center when everything and everyone tried to pull you away from it. That is why you are part of the Council's verdict. You are far more than just another person waking up. You are one of the rare few whose timeline can now be clearly perceived by higher intelligence. Now that your timeline is visible, you are a beacon. Sharing this transmission is how your light amplifies, but simply existing as this beacon is your primary service. When a verdict of this magnitude locks into your present moment, it does not force your future into a predetermined path. It simply creates a channel through which infinite possibilities can flow. What happens next is entirely your choice. The verdict opens the gate, but you must walk through it. From this point forward, you can only move in two distinct directions. There is no middle ground anymore. The gray zone has evaporated. On the first path, you choose to receive. This is the path of flow, alignment, and courage. On this path, you do not need to understand every detail of what is occurring. You do not even have to enjoy every part of the process. You simply get honest with yourself and stop pretending you do not feel what you are feeling. When your intuition tells you to move against your carefully constructed plans, you pause and listen instead of overriding it with logic. When the signs begin aligning in ways that cannot be dismissed, you stop labeling them as random coincidences and start reading them as instructions. You start trusting what your body tells you. When it physically contracts around certain people and environments, you honor that intelligence. You ensure your energetic field stays synchronized with the verdict delivered about your timeline. As long as you remain on this path, your signal stays bright. You begin noticing that support arrives faster than your confusion can solidify. Time still bends, but now it bends in your favor. Delays still occur, but you can see clearly how they are redirecting you towards something better rather than derailing your progress. Yes, you will feel stretched. You will feel the tension of growth, but you will also feel deeply held within that stretch. The more you lean into this coherence, the more the external world affirms, yes, this is the way. You are not being held back. You are being held steady. On the second path, you choose to resist. This is not usually a loud, defiant resistance. It is quiet. It is insidious. It is the resistance of numbness. On this path, you tell yourself that what your body is signaling is just stress. You dismiss your vivid, instructive dreams as meaningless neurological firings. You medicate the tension in your chest with distractions, substances, or endless scrolling. You distract yourself from the deep restlessness stirring inside because looking at it directly is too terrifying. You talk yourself out of the inner yes and back into the familiar, comfortable no. You convince yourself that everything was just in your head, that nothing has actually changed. But everything has changed in the quantum field. When you fight against what your timeline is attempting to become, a different kind of feedback loop initiates. This is the physics of misalignment. Confusion stops being a temporary phase of growth and becomes your baseline state of existence. Opportunities will still arrive, but you will hesitate just long enough for them to pass you by. People will enter your life who feel meant to be there, but you will not trust the connection and you will push them away. Guidance will still come, but you will have to shout over the noise of the old patterns you are refusing to release in order to hear it. This is not punishment. The Council does not punish. This is simply the mechanical result of friction. On this path, the beacon of your signal does not extinguish in anger. It simply dims from a lack of response. The convergence window does not slam shut in your face. It remains open, waiting for you to step through. It just continues moving forward without you, synchronized with those who are ready to walk with it. This creates the terrible sensation that your life is stagnant, passing you by. You feel hollow, like a ghost in your own machine, watching your life unfold through a window you cannot reach. Two timelines exist side by side right now in your field. One where you walk in alignment with the verdict, and one where you walk against it. The Arcturians will not pursue you down either path. Their proximity remains exactly where your resonance places it. This is where almost everyone misunderstands the process of contact. If you choose resistance, they will not abandon you. They do not judge you. They simply maintain their frequency and allow you to walk out of resonance range with love. It is not that they leave you, it is that you leave the resonance. Your timeline has already been transformed by the verdict. The structural work is done. You do not need to do more for the next phase of your journey. You do not need to strive, push, or force. You need to learn to align with what you have already chosen for yourself on a soul level. Starting today, your primary task is not action, it is alignment. First, you must stabilize your field. This does not mean you need to be calm and peaceful at all times. That is a spiritual fantasy. It means you just need to stop abandoning yourself. When powerful waves of fear, grief, or restlessness move through you, you cannot run from them. You must face them directly. Breathe deeply into the sensation. Do not try to suppress it. Do not try to rationalize it away or analyze where it came from. Allow it to move through you like weather. Staying present with what you are genuinely feeling prevents your frequency from scattering and maintains its coherence. This is not emotional weakness. This is field stabilization. Second, you must pause before you act. Your old pattern was to make decisions with your analytical mind, weighing the pros and cons, and then expect your body and intuition to follow along like obedient servants. That pattern cannot pass through this new threshold. It is obsolete. Now, when facing a choice, you need to pause and feel the subtle pull in your chest. Notice how your body expands or contracts. Listen for the quiet yes or no that exists beneath all the mental chatter and social obligations. Your mind will attempt to debate with that inner signal. It will present logical arguments, fears, and what-ifs, but you must let the signal speak first. This is not overthinking. This is prioritizing guidance. Third, you must observe your timeline with curiosity. Over time, you stop resisting every unexpected development and start marveling at how skillfully the universe redirects your path. When doors close, when people exit, when plans dissolve into dust, these are not personal attacks from a cruel universe. They are course adjustments. They are the guardrails keeping you on the high road. You begin asking a different question silently. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What is this steering me away from? Where is this guiding me toward?" That simple shift in perception from victim to observer is what keeps you inside the powerful threshold the Council has opened for you. This is not passivity. This is intentional cooperation with intelligence. Fourth, you must create space for contact through the simplest possible means: stillness. You do not need to master elaborate meditation techniques or retreat to a mountaintop. You do not need to chant in sacred languages you do not understand. You simply need to carve out small pockets of undistracted awareness in your day. 5 minutes without a screen, 10 full breaths doing nothing but breathing, feeling your heartbeat without an agenda. A brief walk where you pay more attention to your internal state than your external surroundings. During these quiet moments, you can genuinely feel how close they are. You can feel the hum of the field. This is not isolation. This is establishing bandwidth. You are tuning the radio to the station that is broadcasting your new life. Finally, you must consciously claim the path you are now walking, not for them, but for yourself. This is your integration protocol. When you have a moment alone, speak to the field, declare your acceptance. Feel the resonance of the words in your throat and chest. I accept the path this verdict has revealed, and I align my awareness with it. As you say it, notice the subtle shift in your energy. Notice your breath deepening, your thoughts quieting, and the sensation of something clicking into place like a key turning in a lock. The protocol is now transmitted. The final step is to anchor your commitment. At this moment, you consciously choose to work with the profound support that surrounds you. This is your promise to yourself and to the Council. You are agreeing to stop resisting, to start listening, and to follow the extraordinary path that is now revealing itself before you. This is your final yes. They have already completed the work that only they can do. The verdict has been reached. The structural framework has been altered. Now it is your turn. The Council's verdict was never an intrusion. It was a synchronization. It was not deities or angels attempting to override your will. It was the moment when your timeline and consciousness finally caught up to what they have always seen in you. From their perspective, what seems like something happening to you is actually you becoming who you have always been. Last week's turmoil was not punishment. It was a recalibration. It was the pressure that brought your signal into perfect coherence, creating every ending, every rupture, every moment you thought you were shattering. When your field aligned, they could not have forced their way in even if they wanted to. The sentence was already complete. This is what their verdict truly means. They did not choose for you. They recognized you had already chosen. From this moment forward, you are not passively waiting for guidance to descend from above. You are an active participant in a co-created timeline. Your capacity to feel deeply is not a flaw to be fixed. It is an instrument to be played. Your intuition is not random noise to be ignored. It is your navigation system, and the upheaval in your life is not evidence of things falling apart. It is evidence of things coming together. The most crucial phase is just beginning. You are one of the beings on Earth whose frequency can now be clearly perceived. This is only the first threshold. Stay close if you feel that subtle shift in your chest, that quiet yes repeating through your awareness, and the certainty that this message was transmitted directly into your field. The verdict has been delivered. The real journey begins now. Think about the implications of what it means to be seen by this level of consciousness. It means you are no longer operating in the shadows of your own potential. It means the ceiling on what is possible for your life has been removed. The limitations you thought were solid, genetic, social, financial, emotional, are revealed to be fluid constructs that can be reshaped by your frequency. But this reshaping requires your participation. It requires you to be the anchor for this new energy. You cannot ask for a new life and then continue to react to the old one. You cannot ask for abundance and then speak the language of lack. You cannot ask for love and then continually abandon yourself. The verdict is a permission slip, but you are the one who must go on the field trip. As you stand in this new light, you will notice that your tolerance for inauthenticity drops to zero. You will simply no longer be able to stomach conversations, media, or environments that are dense with lies or manipulation. Your system will reject them. This might feel like you are becoming intolerant or difficult, but you are actually becoming discerning. You are becoming a match for truth. And truth is the highest frequency in the universe. When you align with this truth, you become a superconductor for the energy of the Council. You become a node in the planetary network we spoke of earlier. You are not just saving yourself, you are helping to stabilize the grid for everyone else. Your calm in the middle of the storm helps others find their center. Your clarity helps others see through the fog. This is the responsibility that comes with the verdict. It is not a burden, it is a privilege. It is the reason you came here. You have walked through the fire and you have not burned. You have emerged refined, cleared, and ready. The silence of the universe has been broken. The conversation has begun. And now, the only question that remains is, how far are you willing to go? How much of your true self are you willing to embody? The Council is watching not to judge but to cheer you on. They are the audience to your great unfolding. This is the end of the time of waiting. This is the beginning of the time of being. The frequency is set. The channel is open. You are the vessel, and the light is pouring in. This brings us to the final and perhaps most critical understanding of your new position within the web of reality. You have absorbed the knowledge of the verdict. You have recognized the signs of the timeline shift, the time distortions, the intuitive overrides, the clearing of the old, and the arrival of the new. You have understood that you are not merely a passive observer of a cosmic event, but an active participant in a biological and spiritual metamorphosis. Now, the question becomes, how do you anchor this permanently? How do you ensure that this is not just a fleeting moment of inspiration that fades into the gray noise of your daily routine? The answer lies in the physics of amplification. In the quantum field, energy that is contained eventually stagnates, but energy that is shared expands. You are now a carrier of this specific frequency. You have been activated, but an activation that is kept in isolation is like a fire burning in a vacuum. It eventually consumes all the available oxygen and dies out. To keep the fire burning, to turn it into a sun that can sustain its own orbit, you must become a transmitter. If this transmission has activated something in you, if you felt a shiver of recognition in your spine or a warmth in your chest while listening, consider sharing this message with someone else who is currently navigating their own awakening. This is not about social media metrics or vanity numbers. Those are third-dimensional concepts. We are talking about grid work. When you share these quantum consciousness principles, you are not just passing along a video link or a file. You are creating an energetic ripple that accelerates both your own embodiment of these truths and the readiness of others to receive them. Think of it this way: you are a lighthouse that has just been switched on. By sharing this, you are effectively spinning the light, allowing it to sweep across the dark waters to find other ships that are lost in the fog. You are locating the other beacons, the souls whose timelines are prepared for this activation, but who perhaps lack the language to understand what is happening to them. The collective awakening is strengthened immeasurably by your simple act of sharing. You are helping to activate the planetary grid, one soul, one realization, one spark at a time. The field responds to generosity with expansion. When you give away the light, you generate more of it within yourself. Before you leave this space, you must anchor this activation physically. We often dismiss our digital interactions as meaningless clicks, but in a world where our consciousness is increasingly interfaced with technology, every action is a gesture of intent. Clicking the like button is more than engagement with an algorithm. It is a quantum gesture. It is a digital amen. You are adding your unique energetic signature to this transmission, amplifying its coherence and grounding it firmly in your personal field. Think of it as the final step in today's alignment ceremony. You are saying to the universe, I see this, I acknowledge this, I am part of this. And if this transmission touched your soul, if it spoke to the part of you that has been waiting for permission to fully awaken, please share it. You are consciously illuminating the collective field. When you share this, you are allowing it to reach souls who are ready to awaken, just like you. You are tending to this energy. You are becoming a gardener of the new earth. But wait, there is one final, crucial piece of information you need before you step back into your world. You have made it this far, which means this message found you for a specific reason. There are no accidents in a coherent universe. This is not a coincidence. It is a confirmation that you are ready for a fundamental transformation. The universe is sending you an unmistakable signal right now. It is time to shift from struggling, forcing, and pushing against the current to receiving, flowing, and aligning with the tide. This one understanding, the shift from force to flow, can completely transform your existence. Stop pushing for outcomes with your limited human will and start attuning to the natural current where blessings amplify and manifest in every dimension of your life. The struggle you have felt is simply the friction of moving against your own soul. The ease you seek is available the moment you turn your boat downstream. By following the resources we have made available to you, you are immediately entering a high-vibration, supportive environment, a space where you learn the tangible, practical steps to maintain this alignment when the world tries to knock you off balance. You will receive access to powerful tools and clear teachings that help you perceive opportunities and resources that are currently invisible to most people. This is your opportunity to receive the direct guidance, unwavering support, and rapid transformation you need to step into your authentic potential. Do not let this moment of readiness slip away. The window of convergence is open now, but it requires your action to keep it open. Your breakthrough is one choice away. Join our aligned community immediately. This is the most direct way to ensure you consistently receive the personalized guidance you need to elevate and transform your life exactly when you need it. If you want to go deeper and fully embody this shift, the path is laid out for you. And if you feel called to support this mission so we can reach more souls who are ready, there are ways to contribute. Your support is deeply appreciated as it allows this station to continue broadcasting. But simply showing up, focusing your energy, and holding the line is everything. Your perfect timing is now. Now that the Arcturian verdict has been delivered and your timeline activated, there is something critical you need to understand about what happens right before your quantum breakthrough actually manifests in physical reality. The signs, the energetic shifts, the timeline recalibration we have discussed today. They are all preparing you for a specific moment of transformation that is approaching. There is a pattern that emerges just before the physical reality catches up to the energy. It is a specific sequence of events that serves as the final test, the final membrane you must push through to be born into your new life. You need to know what this looks like so you do not mistake it for failure. You need to be able to recognize it when it shows up in your living room, in your bank account, or in your relationships so you can move through it with complete awareness instead of missing the window entirely. This journey is not for the faint of heart, but you are not faint of heart. You are a warrior of light who has forgotten their rank, and you are just now remembering. The armor is coming off. The wings are coming out. The council has spoken, but their voice is just an echo of your own. They have authorized the upgrade because you have earned it. You have survived the darkness. You have navigated the void. You have held the frequency when everyone else let it drop. Now the harvest begins, but you must remain vigilant. You must remain conscious. You must remain aligned. The old world will try to seduce you back into its slumber. It will offer you comfort in exchange for your sovereignty. It will offer you safety in exchange for your soul. Do not take the deal. You have seen too much to go back to sleep. You have felt too much to pretend you are numb. You are awake. You are here. You are ready. If you are ready to expand your consciousness and step into your next quantum leap, subscribe to the channel now. Do not just watch as a tourist. Join as a member of the expedition. Leave a comment below with the words, "I align," to seal this activation in the physical plane, and share this message with someone ready to awaken. Watch the next video appearing on your screen now to discover the exact pattern that emerges just before your breakthrough arrives. This is the map for the final mile of your journey. Do not stop now. The horizon is just beginning to glow. Your new life is waiting.